right, before we get started, want to say a couple of things. First of all, a huge happy birthday to our longtime listener, good friend, Tom Bronco Fett. Happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday.
Yep. And also a little bit of sad news. Rest in peace to John Madden, who passed this week.
Mm.
Yeah, cheers to that. As you can see, Dave and I are doing this remotely. So, but really, as far as John Madden goes, huge football personality, really helped kind of elevate and make the game popular. And obviously, he's the face and the name of the Madden football franchise, the video game franchise, which for me, Madden 2005 is still one of my greatest favorite video games of all time. So
Honestly, I think Madden was one of those. It was kind of the joiner. We talked about it a little bit when we did our Tecmo Super Bowl episode. We kind of talked about how significant Madden was for some of us nerds to get us like really into sports and into football in particular. And Madden was this bigger than life profile to do that. And as much as he was just this like jolly, kind of goofy, kind of seemed like he was a little bit slow, kind of had that, well, not the smartest guy kind of thing, but look, he was a champion, and he knew the game of football.
Yep.
So, cheers to the guy for having a successful career and, and bringing the sport of football to all of us and making it fun.
All right. And rest in peace, sir. That being said, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, more Star Wars, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roskam. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm I'm a little under the weather.
Yeah, so anybody watching us on YouTube can see that we are doing this remotely. Typically, we do this for Starkiller Studios, but Dave was not feeling well, so hence the remote.
Yeah, it was. It made more sense to do it remote than to spread my germs all over the studio.
And
even though
that.
we're missing, I have things to add to the studio in regards to the Sacred Pops.
The Sacred Pops.
But those will wait until we have the opportunity to add them to the collection.
Indeed. So in the meantime, what are we talking about today, Dave?
Oh, well, there was a little bit of a new thing that came out yesterday, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that Jason is sporting his "Fett's Not Dead" T-shirt.
That's right.
The newest Dave Filoni joint, the Book of Boba Fett, started yesterday.
Yeah,
and we're gonna break it down.
Yeah, it's finally here. We've been waiting for this for a year, since the end of Mandalorian season 2, so we're very excited to get into it.
Yep.
But before we do, we got some other business to get to in the interim. First of all, let's talk about Patreon, Dave. Since you were absent last week, Kristen and I took on the reins. We launched our Patreon, and it is now live. So if you would like to support the show, patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. We're just using it to kind of keep the lights on, pay the bills for the show, and, throw some stuff back into the show as we can. So support us there, and a huge thank you to our first supporters of this new era of Patreon, Scott and Kim from the Used and Abused podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. You are the reason why we do this.
Are snaps included?
They are included, only for the patrons. The snaps are only for Scott and Kim right now, not for anybody else.
Scott and Kim, did you specifically ask for snaps, or is this something that Jason is providing for you?
This is what I'm doing for them.
Fair enough.
So
are
you all right there?
No, I'm not, but that's okay. I'm glad that we have our Patreon support, and that we can provide snaps for those supporters, and I'll just leave it at that.
Well, Chantal's asking how she can get spirit fingers out of me. I think that's at least a minimum of a second tier Patreon support.
So spirit fingers, does that, I mean, is there some sort of like lubrication involved in that? I mean, what exactly are spirit fingers?
I'm assuming we're talking more like Bring It On type of spirit fingers and not like other movie type of spirit fingers.
Okay.
So
I mean, I don't.
I can do either, but I'm assuming she's talking the Bring It On version.
Fair enough. But anyway, yeah, we should be more specific when we're talking about fingers or fingering or whatever. I'm just saying. Especially if I'm not in the studio. Like, I don't want to walk into something that like, whoa, okay, this is, fumigate this place before I come in here. Just,
I think it might be time to move on. So, do you have anything to say about Red 5 today, Dave?
Just that we want to wish a very happy holiday to our Red 5 Network family and friends. A lot of them are taking podcast breaks until after the holidays. We're still technically in the holiday break because we're in the...
Yeah, New Year's is in like 2 days. So.
Right. So tune into the socials regularly to find the adjusted schedules for everybody. And we'll talk more about Red 5 at the end of the show.
See.
3PO.
All right. So that being said, you ready to get into our weeks?
Absolutely.
All right. So for me, my birthday happened since the last time.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And my lovely wife, Kristen, who I love very much, got me probably the greatest birthday gift. This is the thing about women, they remember everything. Typically, it's always the bad stuff. They remember the one time you mixed their color clothes in the washer and you destroyed their new shirt, and that you did 30 years ago. But
did you do that?
No. I was just trying to think of a good example. But anyway,
it seems oddly specific.
They also remember when you say, "Hey, I like that. I would love to own that someday." And then come Christmas time, they spring a great gift on you like that. And you're like, "Fuck, I completely forgot about this. This is the greatest ever." So that being said, Kristen pulled one of those, and for my birthday, she got me.
Oh, you fucker!
Yes,
that is.
For the audio audience, you can't see this, but Kristen got me the Razer Darth Vader Star Wars 50th Anniversary Xbox controller.
Mother of God.
And it is beautiful. It actually has a rechargeable battery. This stand, the Star Wars stand, is actually a charger. And it's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
MG.
Yeah. So, again, you can see the Darth Vader embossing right there, the Empire logo.
That is a thing of beauty. I know we talked about it when we...
Yeah, we talked about it when they first announced it, and then I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I didn't think about it again, ever. And this was, like, back in May when they announced this.
Yeah, it was... It was like, oh, look at this hotness. And we're just going to not talk about it ever again. Because it was like a pre-order thing. And then, like, you know how pre-orders go.
Oh, yeah. And apparently it was very difficult to get. But she did it and sprung it on me on my birthday, and it was the best. And I've already used it several times. I've played Battlefront several times with it.
Nice.
And it's fucking awesome.
Nice.
So, yeah, absolutely love it. So thank you to Kristen, who actually is not joining us tonight. She's working, so...
On a Monday night.
It's not Monday.
It's not Monday.
It's all right, Dave.
Yes.
So
it's not Monday.
We also had Christmas since the last time we talked.
We did indeed.
And I got another good gift from her for Christmas that apparently you had a little hand in.
Maybe.
Yep. So if you follow me on Instagram at Darth Roskam, you see that I posted a picture of my new telescope that I got for Christmas, and it is awesome. The shitty thing is, since Christmas, we have had one clear night here in fucking Jersey. Every single night's been fucking cloudy. It's like, come on, man. But the one night that I was able to take it out, I got a really good shot at a fucking star. There was like one super bright star in the sky. Based on my night sky app, it was kind of in the spot of Jupiter, so I assumed it was Jupiter. I get all like fucking adjusted, and I get like zoomed in on it, and I'm looking, I'm like...
It's probably Regal or something.
Like, that doesn't look like Jupiter. Maybe that's just what it looks like through a telescope. And then I'm readjusting. I'm like, wait a minute. That's the star Enif. E-N-I-F, which is short for something else, but it's part of the one of the constellations. Jupiter had already gone below the horizon, so. But yeah,
Very cool.
it was still really cool. I have some goals. I really want to see Andromeda through the telescope. I really want to see obviously Saturn and Jupiter through the telescope. So if we ever get a fucking clear night here in Jersey, then
Yeah, and I'll tell you, even it's even worth driving like almost to uh the base, like driving up to that area where you have
yeah, some of those
it,
back roads that are
yeah,
real
the
dark.
back roads out into the farmland where you have like this big open sky, right? Because
Hmm.
that's really what you need. Lower lighting. You know, you're not in New Jersey. It's going to be really, really tough to get like a good dark sky, but you get into that farmland, like up in Central Jersey. Uh, Thank you, Mr. Westcott. Um, the it gives you this big open area to be able to focus on, and in that lower light, and it would be brilliant. So hopefully that telescope is relatively portable, because your
Yeah, it.
wife had some very specific criteria for the selection of the telescope. So
Yeah, yeah.
hope,
Considering that we still travel a bit in our professions, she wanted something that I could take on the road with me if I wanted. So, yeah, it's fairly portable. I need some kind of case for it still, but otherwise, yeah, it's great. I love it for the one time I got to use it. So we'll see.
we'll work that thing out.
Yeah,
We'll find some excuses to take that out.
indeed. So the only other thing I had was I've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. This health issue I've been dealing with. I got some of my blood test results back, and they were not good. Apparently, I've got some kind of liver problem.
Mm.
I've got some slightly elevated levels of the liver blood test that they did for me,
Mm.
and the doctor is like really insisting that I go get an ultrasound, which I have scheduled for Monday. Trying not to freak out, but some changes are definitely going to be made in the life of Mr. Roskam from here. My drinking days may be behind me, quite frankly.
Yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
see. But yeah, it's not good. I'm in pretty much constant pain, so that kind of sucks. And kind of along the same timeline, my reflux has been getting like really fucking bad too.
Mm.
So I've been having to kind of take some antacids, and I got a bunch of Nexium again. So yeah, it's just I'm a fucking mess. I turned 45, and I just immediately start completely fucking breaking down. It sucks.
So it just took longer for you than it did for me. Is really what
Right.
it comes down to.
Yeah.
For me, it happened in my 30s. Um, yeah, man. We'll monitor your situation closely. Uh, you know, you got to be careful. You just got to be careful, and do what the
Yeah.
doctor's orders, and
Yep.
stress doesn't help. Like when you're stressing about one thing, when you're having a health issue and you're stressing about it, like these other things happen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're not sleeping right, which causes you to, you know, uh, have other issues, and then the
And then
reflux comes
the
back.
reflux and the heartburn and all that stuff. It's like fuck. So anyway, that's been my
Yeah,
last week or two ish.
yeah.
What's been going on with you?
I so talk about Christmas gifts real quick. Probably as from like portability standpoint, I had a great Christmas. Christmas is always fucking good for gifts and shit because it's the stuff that you want to get otherwise. I got a new yoke, and like an actual like yoke and throttle quadrant
Yeah.
for doing flight simulator.
Nice.
It is badass. I only had, because we left on Christmas Day to head out to my daughter's
Mm-hmm.
um, in state college. So the um, sorry, I just looking at the chat.
Yeah.
So I got everything set up, and like I had to make some modifications to my desk to be able to like get the yoke on there, and I got the new rudder pedals and everything. And as soon as I'm setting everything up and I open up Flight Simulator, it promptly had 110 gigabyte fucking mandatory uh, update.
Windows or Flight Simulator?
Flight Simulator.
Ugh.
110 gig. I'm like, fuck. And we're leaving that day. So by the time that the download happened and everything else, I had I did like 2 patterns in at South Jersey Regional, and it was like, okay, this is all I had time for. I'm looking forward to logging some more time with the setup, and potentially building a little bit more of a rig that I can just have set up more permanently than just like having to modify the desk every time.
Right. So kind of creating like a custom desk just for flight sim.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what I can get away with.
You gonna play some Squadrons on the PC with that too?
See, I don't know if the yoke is going to like flying a TIE fighter like with the yoke. I think would be problematic because snap turning. I don't want to put that kind of stress on that yoke. Like honestly,
that's fair.
Because I've mentioned this before. Like Flight Simulator for me, I'm not doing anything like insane. I'm flying Cessnas, doing like small cross countries and pattern work.
Right.
So racking the yoke around, probably not going to be happening. But I still have a joystick, so I can have the joystick running with the joystick and with my new pedals, so I can still do some yaw action and shit like that. So anyway, that was my big gift, and it was fucking phenomenal. I also got where are you? Where is it? I don't know where it is.
Watching you search for it is funny though.
What? Where the fuck did it go? Dude, seriously.
You should just keep looking at the same spot over and over again. Maybe it'll appear.
Oh, I know where it went. Stand by. I put it over here with Star Wars stuff. All right, that makes more sense. Jesus, man, losing my fucking mind. So I got this cool thing. I posted it in the our Discord server, but you can see it if you're watching it on YouTube. It is a piece of the Apollo 13 command module. It is a piece of foil. It's like this little tiny piece, and it comes with a really cool, like kind of almost like a CD jacket type thing. It describes, what the Krypton foil, what it was used for, and how they came about. Basically, the guy who puts this together got hold of it, and really cool stuff. And it's really, really small, and it's like a little magnifying glass on there.
So small.
So small.
So is that like a 1 out of 500 kind of deal?
I don't. It probably has numbering. I'm not going to reopen this thing just to talk about that, but it is phenomenal because it's been to space, motherfuckers. Space. Look at it. And Apollo 13 is one of those. It's that miracle of human ingenuity to get these men home from something that should have very easily killed them.
Yeah, multiple times over.
A failed mission that should have killed them. Yeah, like you said, multiple times over. So it's just so cool. I'm completely enamored with the Apollo missions, and like we've talked about.
Right.
So it was just a really, really cool gift. Yeah, so that was awesome. And the other cool thing is that my daughter, she got me this. I don't know, to try and get the glare off of it here. But this is a picture of, I'm pretty sure I looked it up. I forget. But at this point I forget. But this is, I believe it's the 1989 championship picture with Joe Paterno being lifted up in the air, and it is signed by Joe Pa.
Sweet.
Yeah, it has its like certificate of authenticity. Very, very cool. My daughter actually at one point had called and said, "Hey, if you had a choice between a signed Joe Paterno picture or a Saquon Barkley picture, what would you take?"
Kind of telegraphing the gift a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And I know Lunar Girl would have probably went directly for the Saquon one, being a Giants fan. But Joe Pa epitomized the program and is the coach I grew up with. So I got the Joe Pa one, which is Bronco Fett. Shut your pie hole. Yeah, so it's very, very, very cool thing to have. And with the winningest coach in college football.
Awesome.
And I think that was and then haven't seen him in the chat, but so there's this thing. This is the Galaxy Edge official Black Spire Outpost cookbook, which was given to me by Helmet Fire, Penn State.
He was in the chat earlier.
So he brought this in right before the holidays, and I was going to bring it with me when we came on the show today, but I'm obviously not there. So very, very, it's just very, very well presented. Like the pictures in here are fucking phenomenal. And this is, there he is. Yes, he's in there. So I wanted to specifically talk about a couple of things that were in here. Some of them I believe are the Anakin Skywalker favorites. The first one is the Mustafarian lava buns. I found those particularly to be like, look at those. They just look delicioso.
Those could be like Anakin's balls. His balls
they could
might have
very well
gotten
be.
just like burned off in the lava on Mustafar.
And oh no, where is it? I thought I had a thing. The other one is, hang on, wait for it. It's gonna be great when I find it.
It's riveting television.
Here it is. Yeah, here it is. Again, we know Anakin.
Oh, sand cookies.
Loves him some sand, so gets him some sweet, sweet sand cookies. But it's actually, the stuff that's in here looks really, really good. Like I said, the presentation is fantastic. With the industrial look, with all the like this airplane parts and stuff like that. There's this Mandalorian cake, which looks really good as we're talking about Boba Fett today.
Oh yeah.
The ingredients list, it gives you all the different prep stuff. It has specific things that I guess they make like for spices and different like I don't know, spices and syrups and shit like that. Very, very cool. We will add it to the Sacred Jedi text.
The Sacred text.
And maybe Kristen can use it and maybe throw something together.
Yeah, maybe on another night when we do a Star Wars show.
Yeah, absolutely. What else did I get? As I'm sitting here and looking around. Nope, that was it for Christmas.
All right.
I'm sure there's other stuff, but I can't remember it. Dude, I went out to State College for Christmas with my daughter, and then we left from there and we went to Ohio of all places, right? So in an effort to just do something different, my amazing wife said, you've always wanted to go see the Air Force Museum. Like, why don't we do that? We have some time off. Let's go do that. Like, I love that idea.
Sure.
So we drove from State College over to Dayton, Ohio, and through Columbus, flipped off the fucking, flipped off Columbus as I drove through it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the fucking Air Force Museum, for any nerd that's out there that has this just even a small inkling like about aviation or is into like military aviation at all,
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's a fucking must go.
Yeah.
It is a must see. There is so much fucking cool shit there. I mean, just the World War II exhibit alone, with the Memphis
Yeah.
Belle is there.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Boxcar, which is the B-29 that dropped the bomb on Nagasaki, is there. Um, they have a B-24 Liberator, which my mother's father was a navigator, I believe, on for the 8th Air Force on B-24s.
Nice.
Uh, they have one there. Its name is uh, Strawberry Bitch. Is the name on it.
Yeah.
And then it has like a B2 that they used for airframe testing, which you never get to like be that close to. It has an F-117 stealth fighter, but the biggest thing that I wanted to see when I was there, it had the YB-70 Valkyrie, right, which
Mm.
is like this huge supersonic bomber that was designed. They made two of them. One of them was involved in midair that you can go on YouTube and find. Um, and it's like 2,000 miles an hour sustained. These things could fly, and the idea, it's what I told Kathy was what it reminds me of is like as a kid, if you were a kid in the 50s and you just drew like, okay, I want you to draw an airplane that you think can go as fast as it can possibly go to
Mm-hmm.
drop bombs, right? And this is what some kid drew. And because it has like, it just has 8 jet engines just going straight across the ass of it, right? So it's just like, how many engines can we put on it? Let's just go straight across.
All the
All
engines.
the engines we could fit on there, in between two fucking giant fins, and like have all this stuff and canards, and it's a great looking airplane.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we immediately like went right to it. But it's one of those places where you need an entire day.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need an entire day to see everything. If you don't take an entire day, you're doing yourself a disservice. 2 days is probably best, to be honest.
Mm.
But yeah, we did an entire day there. It was great. Did some the city of Dayton. Like I'm an aviation nerd, right? I'm like uh, airplanes are my thing. So Dayton being kind of the birthplace of powered flight, and the Wright brothers and everything else. We went downtown, saw the replica of the Wright brothers cycle shop,
Mm-hmm.
because apparently the original, and I know that our friends from the Escape Pod are going to jump in here, or Don is, the original bike shop was dismantled and fucking taken to the Ford Museum in fucking Michigan.
Oh
That,
shit.
that Ford Museum that those guys keep talking about, they
Mm-hmm.
fucking took the whole goddamn shop and put it up there. So they built a replica one that's actually in town there, and it was closed
Yep.
when we got there, so it just took pictures from the outside of it. But there's a whole like aviation trail. They have a monument to the Wright brothers, and it's kind of hollowed ground for aviation nerds. So it was very, very cool. I could do an entire fucking year of shows
Right.
on just the stuff that I saw there. So kudos to my wife for toughing that out, and and
Yeah,
yeah,
something tells me she probably wasn't as enthralled as you.
oh, definitely not, definitely not. But we had a good time, and as we were driving the on the way back, we we were like, well, let's we stopped and saw this. It's the world's largest basket, right? So apparently, and I had no idea. Like this is, I don't know. I probably should have known, but I didn't know. There's this company called Longaberger. Longaberger?
Longaberger. I know them well because my mother-in-law used to buy Longaberger baskets like they were going out of style, and
Okay,
now we have them all in our garage.
nice, nice. I may actually, like, if you want to get rid of one, I may want to get one just to like, just to see, or at least see it,
Sure.
because we went to what would I guess was the worldwide headquarters of that,
Mhm.
because their building is shaped. It's a giant basket. It is a fucking like 8-story basket.
Damn.
Like, yeah, it's fucking enormous. And I wish I put the pictures I took on the computer where I could display it for everybody.
Yeah.
But so
That is why you failed.
so Kathy and I, we put world's largest basket into the GPS, and we drove to it. And first we went to these corporate headquarters, and the building is like the company went under, I guess, in like 2018 or something.
Mhm.
But so the building's like vacated. And what else are you
Oh.
going to put in a building that's basically a giant basket, right?
That's a good
What the fuck?
question.
What the fuck are you going to put there? So there's nothing in there, and then we're like, well, fuck, this is not the GPS. We just saw this from the road, so
Mhm.
we pulled in. I'm like, well, the GPS says the world's largest basket is still like another 8 miles away. So what is it talking about? So I like zoomed in on Google Earth, and it was another thing. So we kept driving, and there's actual basket, which is tagged the world's largest. So we went and saw the world's largest like actual maple wood basket by Longaberger. So so we did that, and then we continued on, and the next stop was to see the the big coffee pot. Doesn't proclaim to be the world's largest coffee pot,
Mhm.
but it's a big coffee pot. But we weren't able to see it because by the time we got into the town of Bedford, Pennsylvania, and we were got it in there, and it was late at night. We went into town, really cool little town. Bedford, Pennsylvania is famous for being where Washington bedded down during the Whiskey Rebellion.
Oh.
So they have a little claim to fame there. So had a real nice meal, got up, went and saw the big coffee pot,
Right.
and that's exactly what it was. It's just
Sounds like my kind of place.
a big coffee pot.
Mhm.
Apparently, it was in the 30s. It was a diner at one point. Uh, so anyway, yeah, Lunar Girl. We went to Bedford. Uh, so we went there and went straight up 99 back to State College, did touch and go, said hi to my daughter, and then came home from there. So that was like uh it was a long whirlwind trip, uh but it was nice. It was nice to have the time off. Came back for today, and just in time went into work to get my computer because we are teleworking now. uh with the Omicron and the COVID and all the other happiness. uh yeah, with all that shit going on, we're back. My squadron anyway is back
So
to teleworking.
100% teleworking.
To the maximum extent possible, unless you're like you have training, specific training, or you're flying.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah,
Damn.
unless you have a reason to be in a building, then whatever. So yeah, so I'll be home for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
We'll be
save on
doing
gas at least.
facts, and the dog will love it. Like
Yeah.
she's been so distraught uh I went back to work.
Mhm.
So she's gonna love it.
Good.
Um and yeah. I see Ivo G's in the chat.
Oh.
I'm having an extended week, and Ivo G
Just for
is here
him.
just for him.
Yeah.
We can, we should just briefly.
Mhm.
We could mention that you and I are facing each other for the third place match in fantasy
Oh, I
football.
completely forgot about the consolidation bracket, as Luna Girl likes to call it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to go on record. I mean, Jason has a lot to say about a lot of things with all that, and thank you, Ivo, for tuning in just for me. Um, I want to say that I am pretty proud of myself that I went from an absolute hot garbage of a fucking team with that I think was 1-5 at one point,
Got a pretty slow start.
and managed to get to the second seed to have a bye, and to scrape a team together, like made the moves I needed to make. You know, it's like, all right, go out and get a defense that I thought was going to get max turnaround points and do what I could do against a team that I knew was going to be strong, because Luna Girls team had been max performing, and I knew it was going to take a huge effort, even with all the COVID stuff that's been happening with these teams.
Jesus, yeah, don't even get me started on that.
Honestly, it's one of those, like, as we talk about what's going on with COVID, like, to be like if you gamble on football right now, it's gotta be tough. Yeah. It's gotta be tough, because you're looking at like all right, these COVID schedules, like people that gamble on the college games, like for the national championship and everything else, like I can only imagine what that's going to look like. So don't get so proud. We got to. So what's Ivo saying here? You still finished 2 spots ahead of a guy that's been watching football for 15 years. Hey, look, I'm all Ivo. I am. You have no idea how stoked I am that Ivo G had done well. Like I'm really happy with the league altogether, especially that, quite frankly, that Jason's not in the championship game. Like, everyone did their job. Like we said from the beginning, that we didn't want Jason to win. That was the goal. Everyone against Jason. And Jason bowed up and he said, you know what? No, if it's going to be me versus the world, then I'm gonna take to that, and it's going to be me versus the world. And he took strongly to that, and you performed. So,
well, to be fair, COVID and injuries did far better against me than any of you fuckers. So I don't want to hear.
Hey, everyone had those issues.
Did you lose your first 2 draft picks?
Because probably.
No, your first 2 probably just sucked, and you shipped them off for better players. But
perhaps
I'm not talking about fantasy football anymore. I'm not even going to set my team for this weekend, quite frankly, because I don't give a shit at this point.
Perfect.
So
I will accept your defeat.
Yes.
Yeah. So good luck to Luna Girl and to Keith Lehman, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
So, all right, are you done with your week?
I'm done with my week.
All righty. Do you need a break or anything before we get into our main topic?
No, I'm good.
All right. Then let's get into it. So finally, after a year of waiting, we've gotten the Book of Boba Fett. Chapter 1. So they are following the Mandalorian chapter format for the Book of Boba Fett. So this one is Chapter 1, and what is it? Stranger in a Strange Land. Very, what was it? That was a Western, wasn't it? Strangers in a Strange Land?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, so again, very Western-like. And directed by Robert Rodriguez, who directed the episode 14, or chapter 14 of Mandalorian, The Tragedy. That was the one where Boba Fett got his armor back from Mando, where they were basically, Baby Yoda was fucking meditating, and they kind of had to protect him from the Imperials that were dropping in. And that was where Boba was reunited with his armor. And that one was directed by Robert Rodriguez. So nice.
I forgot to mention this during the week.
Baby Yoda Lego.
Yeah, perfect. This was the coup de grace for the Lego Advent calendar. You had Grogu with his power sled, and then a Mando with this little scarf.
Nice. Is that like a Christmas scarf?
Yeah, a little Christmas scarf.
Sweet.
All right, look at me. I got my Christmas scarf. All right, anyway.
So,
back to you.
Yesterday, we got chapter 1, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. So, I don't know if you had any overall thoughts before we kind of like break down into the scenes.
So, you said something very telling right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I thought I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a more Sopranos type feel to what we were going to get in the show, not a continuation of what the Mandalorian was.
Right.
As far as like the sound, the sights, kind of, I kind of wanted to pivot away from this Western
Mm-hmm.
type feel. Not that the Western feel is bad, because I think it can make for good storytelling.
Sure, but we're getting that already with Mandalorian.
Right.
Why do we need that in Book of Boba Fett also? And yeah, they you talk about the whole the mob type of storyline and everything. That was really not a huge part of at least this episode. So, and that's the thing overall about this episode that I feel like it's just a big like setup for what's to come down the line, because I feel like this was all just kind of like laying the groundwork for the rest of what we're going to see for the rest of the season, because it just felt like not a whole lot happened, I guess. If that makes sense. And we'll kind of get to it when we start breaking it down. But don't get me wrong, I didn't dislike this episode. I don't think it was bad. I'm not angry about it, but it just feels like it's a small fraction of an overall story that we just don't have the bigger picture for yet.
That's a way to say it.
Did you have another way?
I to use a baseball analogy, I feel like it's a foul ball. Right?
Oh, really?
It's not a swing and a miss, but it's also not. It's not a ball in play.
Right. And you compare it to, again, I hate to compare it to Mandalorian because they're supposed to be just like two completely separate shows, but episode 1 of Mandalorian had us fucking hooked like that.
Yeah.
It was right on point. The beats were perfect. And then it ended on this big climax and it was like, fuck. So it was just perfect. You compare it to that. This is much more low key when compared to that. But again, I want to make all things fair. Like it's supposed to be something completely separate.
Fuck fair. I don't fair. Fair?
Right.
Fair. Like case in point, you talk about fair. We just had our washing machine got fixed today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh my god, you don't realize how much you depend on these things until they fucking break.
Oh yeah.
Like, and then like the service that you subscribe. The service you subscribe to, like it takes 8 to 10 days for them to fucking show up to fix a thing in 5 minutes. Anyway, the dude that came out is a Star Wars guy, right? And he's like, right, he's on our wavelength, right? And he may be listening right now because I gave him some stickers from the show.
Nice.
But he really hated the Last Jedi. Felt like it was kind of it was just such a negative for the franchise, and it caused so many things to pivot away from some really good storytelling, but enjoys where the Filoni stories are going and stuff like that. Like, and it was interesting to see this total stranger, right? Saw my Star Wars stuff here in the house, and poor Kathy was stuck in the middle of this back and forth about Star Wars with the washer repair guy. But I forgot where I was going with that. Shit. Fuck.
Was it a conversation that the two of you had about Boba?
Probably.
Like how you felt about it?
No, I just. I don't know. Let's just press into some of the scenes and stuff, and then
we'll start breaking it down a little bit, and then maybe it'll come to you. So, first of all, it started off with the new Star Wars intro that we've been getting since pretty much Mandalorian, where it's got like the flashing helmets, and I'm pretty sure they added 1 or 2 new ones in there. I think I saw Fennec's helmet in there this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I know they added at least 1 new one in there, because I'm always watching now, because every new show they add new helmets. Like I noticed there were some different ones in the Bad Batch and everything else.
Watching for helmets, are you?
Yeah. Yes, I am. And it starts off with Boba in a bacta tank, because either he's still dealing with lingering injuries from like being in the Sarlacc and then his fucking stint in the desert, which we're going to get into.
Right.
Or, he's just getting old. He needs that extra life support, that HGH IV drip.
Fuck yeah, man.
Maintain that youth. But yeah, we start off with him in the back to tank, and apparently, and I'm wondering if this is going to be a theme throughout the season. Whenever he's in that back to tank, he's having these flashback dreams and everything. And like the first thing we see is Camino. We see one of the Caminoan buildings and the fucking waves and everything, and then it quickly flashes to Geonosis, where he fucking runs up to his dad's helmet and picks it up. And I'm pretty sure that these were like alternate takes from Attack of the Clones, because it's been a while since I've watched that movie all the way through. But I feel like all we saw in that was him pick up the helmet and kind of like put it up to his head, not him running up to the helmet and then kind of picking it up. So I feel like we might have gotten some alternate takes from that, which is really cool if they did that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and then we get the scene that I think everybody's been waiting for, which, again, was predicted in this shirt that I bought in like 2012. My Fett's Not Dead shirt of him crawling out of the Sarlacc pit. Again, bought this before the Disney buyout. So, and it's only fitting that I wear it tonight. But yeah, we get the scene of him escaping from the Sarlacc pit, which I have a huge question about this. So he wakes up, fucking turns on his little helmet light and sees a stormtrooper.
Right.
How did that stormtrooper get there? There were no stormtroopers on fucking Jabba's sail barge. Like, where the fuck did this guy come from? There's like no explanation about that whatsoever. And I found it kind of odd because, you know, stormtroopers typically don't chill on Tatooine. The only time being when they were looking for R2 and 3PO in A New Hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, they could have been anything, right? They could have showed up in Jabba's palace asking questions, and he pushed them into the pit. I mean, it could have been anything like that.
There's plenty of ways to explain it off, but I'm just kind of wondering if there's pointing to either maybe some obscure canon material, like maybe a book or a comic that we didn't read, how a stormtrooper ended up in there, or you know, maybe it's like something that's going to get explained later. I just found it kind of odd.
So, by show of hands, for everyone that's here, by show of hands, who is a little bit disappointed with this answer to how he escaped the Sarlacc pit?
What, he just turned on his fucking suit and climbed out?
Yeah, like
no rescue or anything.
I don't know. I didn't want to rescue. I don't know what I wanted. But I can tell you that I wanted more than a 45-second. Yeah, I agree.
Chantal said it was the escape was
too easy. It was too easy for us to sit here for decades and wonder how the fuck he would have gotten out of there, right? If Boba Fett lives, right? Yeah, like he makes it look easy, right? But it was too fucking easy.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to make this instead of getting the hard part being getting out of the Sarlacc pit, the hard part's going to be surviving the Tusken Raiders, which why at some point I guess there'll be some payoff as to why the Tusken Raiders are taking fucking random prisoners.
Yeah, well,
I guess
we know from like Shmi Skywalker that they've been known to take prisoners before. So
okay. But that's the callback? Like because they took her to torture her?
Well, and again, we haven't seen this story to fruition yet, so we don't know. Well, and who's to say? Because we know from some of the early Disney canon that they're just normal humanoids under there. Those faces are not their actual fucking faces. Those are masks and fucking goggles. So
well, you can see the lips of one of them through the thing.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the way they keep their people going is they just fucking kidnap people and add them to their collective.
And getting water and tides. Why do you need moisture farmers to pull the? Why do you need these fucking?
Oh, we're gonna get to the moisture farming. Because I have some questions about that too from what we saw. But we are jumping a little bit ahead of ourselves. Yeah, and I kind of agree the escape seems a little anticlimactic. It's like, well, why couldn't anybody just fucking do that? Like, I understand
the entirety of this character is built right now upon the fact that he was getting that he escaped from this inescapable pit.
Right.
Right? How does this happen? How does he get out of the fucking Sarlacc pit? And to explain it away in such a just a blasé manner reeks of something that would have been like a Last Jediism.
Hmm.
It just, and I think that's kind of where I was going with the talking to the washer guy. It's the you have an opportunity, like you have however many seasons this is going to go. These flashbacks that he's having, you can tell this story. Like, I'm not saying it took a long time for him to get out. I don't need to see every waking minute of like him trying to like trying, but for something this big, I just feel like it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And the problem with it was that I sat there for the rest of this 40-minute episode, and it was in the back of my mind the entirety. Like, as we're going through these Tusken Raider flashbacks, I kept coming back to this the fucking inadequacy of the Sarlacc pit scene.
Right.
So it left me wanting through the whole thing.
Well, and Press Play Streaming Studios in the chat said something that I was kind of thinking was like the Beskar armor probably contributed to a good portion of him surviving, because he didn't just immediately get like disabled by the fucking digestive fluids in the stomach of the Sarlacc. So he was able to be protected by that and then able to like burn his way out. I don't know. I actually didn't have an issue with this scene. Because I really feel like it's sort of unimportant to the whole rest of the story, and
but it's been important for so long. I mean, it's been important since 2012 when you had a fucking T-shirt. Like,
true.
It's not something that's irrelevant.
No, but I think that the whole idea is more about him just getting out of the Sarlacc in general, and not necessarily how. And I obviously feel like Favreau and Filoni just wanted to just like very quickly show people something and then move on. Like, they didn't want to dwell on it. Instead, they'd much rather dwell on him getting drugged through the desert by the Sand People for 20 minutes.
Right.
Because that's where the time is better spent.
Like, and obviously he's superhuman, because like if he's not getting any water throughout the entirety of this thing, like he's not having any like muscle cramping, all of this dehydration that should be happening, he's still managing to fucking stand, not hallucinate, like
yeah. So yeah, when he gets out, he like fucking he's like out of energy. He fucking passes out there, and the Jawas show up. He gets fucking rolled up by Jawas, and they take all his shit. And he tries to fight him, and they're like, nope, fucking, whack him in the head with the butt of their gun. And then they fucking laugh too. Like as like the screen fades to black, you can hear one of them fucking laughing at him as they're walking away. So, and after that, before he gets rolled up by the fucking Tusken Raiders, dude, he looked like a fucking corpse. Like, his face was all fucked up.
Yeah, it was bloated.
Yeah, he looked like he was fucking dead. Yet somehow he still survived. Somehow that little fucking like wormy goo that they squeezed into his mouth was enough to hydrate him and bring him back to life.
Yeah, apparently that's like the Pedialyte of worms there. It's just like little squirt.
Yep.
Blech.
So that was enough to kind of keep him functional for a while. But then, yeah, we had this scene where the fucking Sand Raider... And by the way, like, this whole episode seemed like a who's who and what's what of Tatooine. It's like the tour of everything you know about Tatooine. We get the Sarlacc, we get the Jawas, we get the fucking Sand People. Later on, we get some other stuff. It's just kind of like a what's what of Tatooine. And... yeah, they fucking it feels like the longest scene in the world, where they're just dragging him through the desert. First he's walking, then he's like, fuck this, and he falls over, and they're like dragging him, and it lasted forever. And there's several scenes of Tuskens leading him back and forth to places that they're just drawn out for, to me, no reason.
Yeah, why do they go to that farm? Why did they go to the farm that's being like obviously jacked up by
like some other raiders, which I
right.
feel like those guys are coming back because they spray painted their little fucking logo on the side of the Moisture
Right.
Farmhouse, or like when they
The
took off
Montreal
with the
Expos logo on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no fucking way we don't come back to that at some point this season. But again, at the time, it's just like, why did I just watch that? Why did the fucking sand guy take him to just watch these raiders walk off of the water and then just go somewhere else? Like, what was that all about? Unless they were originally gonna raid that.
Yeah, look, look, bitches, see with this shit. This could be you.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna drag you over here and make you dig a hole to find this magical fucking water-producing thing that's apparently inches below the sand.
Yeah,
that
the water
somehow
rocks.
collects water.
Yeah,
and we're not scraping the desert. We're not out there with giant bulldozers scraping the desert to fucking kick these things up to get all the water out of it, because nobody would think to do that. No. We're gonna create these giant masts and create it and make this huge. No, we're not. No, fuck that. We're gonna make sure that we take the most just awful way to get water when we could be digging it out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's just fucking stupid.
Is that what the moisture farmers are collecting the moisture from? Is from those fucking sand rocks that apparently have water in them?
No, I always thought they were fucking. It was like out of the atmosphere to just like just kind of like collecting it like statically, and I don't know. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So we also skipped when he was in captivity in the fucking Sand Raider camp.
This is funny.
Sarlacc was on Nexium. Could have been.
Or Prilosec.
He was tied up with a fucking goddamn Rodenian.
Rodenians.
A red one.
Fucked him over. Like Rodenians do.
Yeah, like he's about to escape. He's like, hey, you want me to let you go? And they're like, help! Help!
Help! Help, motherfucker! Oh! Oh! Oh!
It's like, what the fuck, bro? I was trying to get you out, motherfucker. And there was one scene, too, where when he first got to the camp where he's tied to the fucking pole, and then the sand kids just all roll up and just start, like, whacking him like a piñata, just for reasons.
Yeah, reasons.
Yeah.
Hey, this is, I think somebody mentioned in the chat earlier, it is the indoctrination of these kids for like, okay, this is what we do with these non-Dune looking motherfuckers,
right?
Like these non-still suit wearing motherfuckers. We just tie them to shit and beat them, and then drag them to places to look at other people, and then drag them somewhere else and beat them.
Yep. Now there was a scene when he did escape that first night, where he got out and like that fucking sand kid rolled at it, like came up on him. He fucking like took him down, like reached up like he was gonna like fucking take the kid out, and the kid like kind of cowered in fear and like cried a little bit.
Right.
And they really focused on that. Like they seem to put a lot of emphasis on that kind of scene. So I feel like that's gonna come back around at some point in his fucking memories with the Sand People. But I made a note of that because something about that scene like really seemed like they were focusing on it for a reason. Then all of a sudden we flash to present day, Boba. We spent fucking, I don't know, 20 minutes at the start of the show with all these flashbacks. Then he finally wakes up to Fennec tapping on the glass. Boss, time to get up.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's not the worst thing to wake up to every day, Fucking Ming the Wen right there, hovering over you.
Old Asian broad. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, and then like this is the only real like gangster stuff that we get into is just him sitting on the throne and all these people bringing him fucking tributes. You get a walrus man, which there was actually a pretty funny bit of dialogue after the walrus guy gave his tribute because he's talking in his fucking walrus. Yeah. And he's like, did you get any of that?
Yeah.
Like, I think he said something about friend. He's like, we really need a protocol droid.
Right.
Which I thought that was a great line. That got a good laugh from me.
Yeah. And this is where, honestly, like, this is the part, like, for me, I wanted to see more of this, less of the flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I am 100% sure, and I'm going to go speak out of order, but the What thing? Pod says healing paused. Yeah, well, I think we're gonna get to that.
Oh,
Um,
I did take note of that too. Yeah, when
yeah,
it said healing paused.
I really think the um this idea that like this is he says Jabba ruled, you know, by fear. He wants to rule with respect.
Yeah.
So he's going to these places and kind of establishing his name. He's not riding in the fucking, in the chariot. Like he's not being fucking carried around like a goddamn giant slug.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, it's probably easier to walk around as a biped than it was as a giant slug anyway.
Probably,
So,
probably.
I mean,
So I mean, I've got a question about this whole structure, this whole power structure that's going on here. Like, if just taking over this fucking crime empire, if all it requires is you walking in and like shooting some fucking fat guy and being like, okay, I'm the boss now. Like, who's to stop like 1,000 fucking people from doing the same thing to Boba Fett? And why didn't anybody do it to Bib Fortuna before that? Like, I don't understand the hierarchy of the mob. And
well, I mean, who's to say that it doesn't?
he's like he rolls in. He's like, Bib Fortuna, I'm the boss now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what happened, And these Gamorrean guards, right? Like that are suddenly now his Gamorrean guards.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get through them, and it's now just you and that guy, and you and Bib Fortuna, it's like, okay, fuck, you're now. I'm the boss now.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm the captain now. Look at me. Oh my god.
You all right over there?
No.
So okay,
Obviously not.
as they're going through this tribute,
I'm the captain now.
This male Twi'lek shows up, who's
Right.
like the mayor's assistant speaker or whatever.
Right.
What did you think about this character? I couldn't stand him. I didn't like the way this character was presented. He talked too like American almost. The way this actor talked did not sound very Star Wars to me, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
It was so weird. I didn't like the delivery that this guy gave. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but like some of the vocabulary he used and the way he delivered his lines, it just seemed like just some fucking random like Hollywood movie about like somebody in fucking California and not on Tatooine being delivered by a Twi'lek.
So I'm with Joker voice on this one. You're not supposed to like him.
Oh,
And
I understand.
maybe that's why they use the American voice, because it's the Americans aren't well liked. No, I get you though. It just seems out of place, right? Like here's this squeaky clean Twi'lek who's, I mean, obviously, yeah. I again agree with Joker voice. It was an insult, right? The mayor didn't show up, had other shit going on, so he sends one of his lackeys, and still has an expectation of like, hey, you're supposed to pay some tribute to the mayor.
Yeah.
Which that again, when you're talking about this structure of power, like why would the mayor in this town, like would Jabba have it really given a shit what the mayor was, doing? Like,
yeah, because I mean, you would think in a good crime syndicate, the mayor would be on your fucking payroll. He'd be answering to you.
Yeah, if this was Batman, like the bad guys obviously control the mayor. Otherwise, how do they control the police force and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm with Chantal on the way by this.
Yeah, that's.
I think her and I are seeing eye to eye here.
Yeah, but again, it's an irrelevant thing. He was there to foreshadow the fact that the mayor is like, going to be offended by the fact that
he didn't give tribute.
He didn't give tribute to the mayor, and now that like the mayor's going to try and fight him back, which is, I guess, what happened with the fucking shield wielding fucking ninjas that showed up.
You kind of assume that they're there on behalf of the mayor, which I have something to say about that too. Which, I mean, we can just talk about it now. Though I do want to go back to the cantina scene at some point.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were not trying to kill him and Fennec. They had their fucking shields, they had their stick of truth, but they were never like fatal. And all they were doing was like surrounding them with the fucking shields and just trying to like taser them, and never actually like try to kill them. But it wasn't until like Boba and Fennec started fighting back, and then the fucking Gomorians finally showed up, and just
Yeah,
started
where
like
the fuck were
slashing
they?
throats.
They were getting something to eat. Like, hey, boss, we're gonna go across the street, get a cup of coffee. You know, don't do it. Don't get in any trouble while we're gone.
Right.
Yeah, don't. You'll be all right in here, right? Like, fuck.
Like they literally just walked out of that fucking cantina, and then all of a sudden the Gamorreans are gone.
Oh, Joker voice again. Is it black and red attire, Crimson Dawn?
Maybe.
Talk about rival gangs, perhaps.
Yeah, and I'm sure Crimson Dawn's going to come into play at some point this season.
I'm sure as well. Whether it's the mayor working with Crimson Dawn, maybe there's like, who knows? Like, but here's the thing. For me, with this particular episode, like, as if we're jumping, this is our jumping point for this hopefully multi-season story.
Yeah.
It wasn't very strong. It just, like, it again goes to the strength where we have no idea where this is going.
Yeah.
Right. And not in a good way. Not in a like cliffhanger. Like, this is we just built some character development on the fact that what's the number one thing we take away from this episode? What's the number one thing that Dave takes away from the episode? Right. Is that Boba Fett has to have the bacta tank.
Well, yeah, he's been through.
He can't survive without it.
Yeah.
It's just like Vader with the meditation thing. He, like, at some point, like, if Boba Fett is out of, like, if he's not close to the bacta tank, then he's vulnerable.
Right.
Like, so that's a huge weakness. That's what I get. That's what I took out of this episode.
Yeah, because again, it just felt like it was sort of laying the groundwork, but didn't really tell us anything. And it really didn't give us any direction because we don't know. I mean, obviously, a big portion of the show is going to be his conflict with either the mayor or Black Sun, whoever these the shielded guys were. But this Joker voice guy is disagreeing with every fucking thing we say. Who the hell is that?
I don't know.
Anyway. I think he's taken the contrarian position to everything that I've said so far. But anyway.
You're an easy guy to disagree with.
Yeah, that's what my wife always tells me. But, yeah, I feel like we don't know where the show is going still. Like, we have some hints with the conflicts, but is it going to focus a lot on his time with the Sand People? Are we going to be seeing this throughout the whole fucking season? Are these flashbacks to his 3 years with the Sand People?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's go back to the cantina.
Okay,
before we get too far from that.
So yeah, this is a pretty neat scene where they go into this cantina, which it's kind of like looked like a mini casino,
right?
Yeah, like a combination of casino and Mos Eisley cantina,
right?
But we got some very familiar faces. The Max Rebo band being one of them. We got like Elephant Man playing the fucking the piano,
working the keys.
Yep. We got we saw the droid, the Star Tours droid from the original Star Tours.
Yeah,
was in there. A couple other familiar faces, familiar droids. We forgot to mention the fucking torture droid from Jabba's palace. The white guy who looks like a skeleton, basically.
Yeah, he was the guy introducing like the people that were coming for tribute.
Yeah, which, by the way, if for any fans of What We Do in the Shadows, that's voiced by the character, the guy that does Laszlo in What We Do in the Shadows, which is hilarious. That's one of my favorite characters from that show. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of familiar scenes in that cantina. And when they roll in, they're greeted by a bunch of Twi'leks, which you've got like the what did I call him? Hold on. Fuck. Oh, the boy toy Twi'lek. The guy, he's all fucking jacked, no shirt on.
I thought you were going with the Chippendale Twi'lek.
Well, that too. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. And then, of course, that super tall, flesh-colored female Twi'lek. So, you know, a lot of excess, a lot of indulgence going on in this place, like you do on Tatooine.
So, a couple things that bother me about this scene. What I do like going into this, I like that you get there's a conversation between Boba and Fennec, like kind of you're getting an idea of how their relationship is going to be. Like she's going to be giving him advice, and he's going to be accepting it freely, right? He wants her to talk freely about, the situation and things like that. So I thought that was good. Where she's telling him like, hey, we need to adapt more to the culture and what they're doing, so that when they roll into the cantina, then they're going to get their helmets cleaned. Question mark. That idea, and again,
is that a euphemism for something?
Yeah. Well, here's my problem with this, right? When ever would you see a Mandalorian just like let his helmet get taken somewhere and like, here, take this away out of my sight?
Like in most situations, never. But maybe with Boba having enough knowledge of the way things go, he kind of knew what was coming back in the helmet.
Maybe, but still, like, because then it's immediately problematic, right? Because now it's all right. I'm going to create this distraction, right? I'm going to fill your fucking helmet with fucking money, right? Because then what are you going to do with it? Now you're going to walk out of here with a helmet full of money, and now we're going to attack you. Now you don't have your helmet on, so your situational awareness is now that like so.
So you think that was a setup?
If it wasn't, then it was an interesting set of circumstances.
Yeah.
I how do you? Is cleaning your helmet like polishing your knob? That's what we were alluding to.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, if a female Twi'lek came up to me and said, "Would you like me to clean your helmet?" I'd be like, "Zip."
Said
absolutely.
Like, yes, I'm not going to like. That has nothing to do with handing them anything. Right. The cantina provides. Yeah, I just look. It's obviously there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of probing at, so to speak, Boba Fett to see like any kind of weakness in his ability to be the leader, be the kingpin. So, and you're seeing it immediately, right? And that makes sense if you're talking about like this mobster kind of mentality.
Yeah. And this scene was the scene that we've seen in all the previews leading up to this too, was them having that fight in that kind of little courtyard.
Yeah.
With the shielded and the zappy stick people.
Yeah, zappies. What'd you say? The stick of truth.
Yeah. And again, I'm sticking firm to my belief that it looked like that they were not trying to kill them. They were just trying to like block them in and subdue them. Like for what purpose? Who the hell knows? But obviously it didn't work.
Tie them to the back of Bantas and drag them across the desert.
Yeah,
apparently.
for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
In real time as we're just watching.
Like Ryan Johnson style, fucking like tacking spaceships.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew. Like, we're just gonna do it. Just gonna do it for 20 more minutes. Hang in there. Pew,
we're almost out of fuel. But anyway, so they fight him off, and we get this scene where Fennec chases two of them because Boba wants one or both of them alive. There's a pretty cool rooftop chase scene, but again, is
parkour.
So yeah,
parkour.
Very, very office parkour type thing. And again, it lasts so long. It's stretched out. You see them turn this corner and jump over this ledge, and then a second later, her turning the same corner and jumping over the ledge, and you see that same scene over and over again. Eventually, she kind of gets around the other side of them, and then we have this moment that kind of reminds you that Fennec, she's not like a good guy at all. Like, she's been very like
subservient.
Well, no, I would say she's been very like, let's rule the way Jabba did, as like Boba's advisor through this. She's like, no, we should be torturing these guys. We shouldn't take on these Gamorrean guards. It's gonna look weak. We should rule by fear. Fear works. So she's been very kind of like evil this whole time, not like evil-ish. And then we get to this point where she's got the two guys cornered, and she's basically got them pinned down. She fucking pushes one of them over the ledge. And
that's because Fett said he wanted one alive, right?
Well, he just said alive. He didn't specify one or both.
And so, but the implication was that he didn't say both of them alive. He just, the intention is one.
Sure.
So that's why she's like, she makes that decision. She's like, well, I don't need both of them. I only need one of them. So whoop, this other one's going to go. And now I got one to take back.
Mm-hmm. But again,
me.
if she was a Jedi, she'd be showing some real dark side tendencies throughout the whole course of this.
Fuck the Jedi. Fuck them and their fucking bullshit.
Wow.
Fuck the Jedi.
The only other thing we haven't talked about is Boba's last flashback to the fucking Sand People. Because again, we're still going back to his memories every time he gets in that bacta tank.
Well, yeah, so he has to, he tells the Gamorrean guards, get me back to the tank.
Yeah, right after that fight.
They basically, with his clothes on, fucking throw him into the fucking tank with the goddamn, mouth gear on.
Yep.
And then he immediately, kind of goes into the trance. So, we didn't talk about it, but fuck the Jedi.
Yeah.
Joker. Fuck the Jedi.
We are Sith.
Yeah, we are Sith. Show. When he was in the bacta and when she knocks on the window and he gets out before the montage of them fucking gearing up like Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention the suit up montage.
Right. He says the dreams are back. So it must have been at some point, it's not, I don't think the bacta tank equals the dreams. I think that the dreams are happening more recently.
Right.
So, there's obviously some span of time, and then now for whatever reason, these dreams are coming back to him. Mm-hmm. Whatever's triggering it, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I think by saying that line, we're meant to believe that the dreams are a more recent, recurrence.
Sure.
As opposed to just automatically being triggered by the bacta.
Yeah, but it's also convenient timing too, so he can tell backstories through the dreams. But anyway, we end up back in the fucking the Sand People memory, and this is where he took him out to the moisture farm, and then they went digging for fucking water rocks. But then after that,
are they rocks or they're sea urchins?
I thought they were rocks that they cracked open and there was water inside. But. Man. Yeah, either way. So as they're digging for these fucking rocks, first of all, he goes over or yells at the roadie and is like, "Hey, motherfucker, what the fuck was that the other night? Right. I tried to fucking break us out and you fucked me."
The best part is the Rhodanian finally talks back to him. He's like, "Hey, keep your voice down." You're you can't control the volume of your voice the whole time. And then suddenly the Rhodanian talks and you're like, no, keep your voice down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then he uncovers this fucking 4-armed sand demon.
Right. So I misspoke initially what I thought what it was going to be. And I'd said to Kathy, "Oh man, I think that's a crate dragon."
Right. That's what I thought too. When you see the claw at first, when he uncovers that.
But then when the multiple arms, it's something else.
Right.
Yeah.
And this, as far as I can tell, this is a brand new thing. I haven't seen this in any other canon.
Yeah. But, Goro, according to Bronco Fett.
Oh, Goro from fucking Mortal Kombat. It was Mortal Kombat. The 4-armed guy. He'd grab you with 2 arms and then fucking beat you with the other 2.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But this fucking.
He apparently has significance because by defeating the Gorgothon, then he's obviously making a pact with the Sand People.
Right. Or at least at a minimum, he's gained the respect of the leader, whoever this tribe leader is, because throughout this whole stint with them, you see these flashes of the leader just kind of coming out and just kind of glaring at him and then kind of going back into his tent or whatever. But, finally at the end, after hearing the stories of him strangling this fucking 4-armed sand demon, he walks up to him, doesn't even look at him or say anything, and just hands him one of the water rocks.
Right.
And he just kind of drinks from it, and that's where it pretty much ended.
So I'm actually looking at an article right now that does not have a name. What the fuck? I hate the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
This is Sand Creature Explained. No, it doesn't. It does not at all.
Mm.
It's here's every creature in a book of Boba Fett explained. Okay, I hate the internet. It's the fucking worst.
Good night, Chantal. I'll hop into your chat later.
Is that a euphemism for something?
No, it's not polishing the helmet.
It's not. You know what? Never mind. What the fuck am I looking? You know what? Forget it. I give up. I don't know what it is. This is what we need the chat for. Look these things up. If we, if there is a name for this fucking thing, like what is it doing laying so close to the surface of the fucking in the middle of the desert? With piles of said rocks close by. I don't know. It's fucking whatever. I'm not overly excited right now with Book of Boba Fett.
So this episode certainly did not excite me. It's like I said at the beginning, I didn't dislike it per se, but it didn't blow me away either.
It's not like, again, this is what we're really bad at as Star Wars fans, right? This was here we go. Here's a good theory about what they are. Bantha droppings.
The water rocks.
Yeah. You got Bear Grylls out there fucking wringing out elephant shit to get the water out of it. So there you go. It's probably brilliant. I think that's what Bantha pellets. There you go. That's what they are. They're Bantha pellets.
All right, fair enough.
I hereby.
So one thing that
fire calls them Bantha pellets.
One thing I'll say to kind of go along with what you've been saying about the show overall is there's so much hype around this character, right? For as long as we were kids, for 36 fucking years or however long it's been since Empire came out.
40 years, Jason.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, so
we just had the 40th anniversary.
Fucking kill me now. This character has been so beloved, so much hype around it. And then, of course, last year when we found out, yes, he is indeed still alive, we got these really great appearances in Mandalorian. The Boba Fett hype was at a fever pitch.
Right.
So obviously there's going to be a lot of hype and a lot of, like you said, expectations going into this that us Star Wars fans have. And I feel like, yeah, if you were coming into this expecting to just get fucking blown out of the water right out the gates, you'll probably be a little disappointed, but I still have faith in Favreau and Filoni. I feel like there's a reason why we started off the way we did, and I feel like it's just going to keep building and building and building, and we'll eventually get to a good place.
Yeah, I get. I mean, I guess we have to look at Clone Wars started slow.
Rebels, that's an understatement.
Yeah, Rebels kind of
started slow.
You have to start somewhere, but this is not the caveat to that is this is not a character that we don't know.
Right.
This is a character that's well known, even if it only had fucking 3 minutes of screen time or whatever the fuck it was, right? This is a very well-known and beloved character, so there should be I'm trying to translate the Russian that was blocked in the chat.
It was just spam.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I just really feel like this isn't the kind of character we're like, all right, we're gonna start slow because we need to build up, like give you an idea who this character is and stuff like that. Nah, you don't have to do that. Like, even for the plebes out there, like that were getting into Mandalorian, that needed kind of the the Baby Yoda, like, oh wow, that's really cute. I wonder what the show is. No, no, no. Boba Fett was going to draw in all the strap hangers that have been kind of hanging out watching. All these people are going to be into it. And I mean, for the most part, I will say that the people, I haven't met anybody that says like they didn't like it. For the most part, I've heard people that they're ready for more of it. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's hey, my whistle has been wetted, and let's get some more of this pronto.
Yes.
So that we can, build on whatever it is that you're trying to do here. Because, Kathy and I sat and watched it last night, and she was underwhelmed as a non-Star Wars fan. Like, she enjoyed The Mandalorian. But she's not.
That had the anchor of Baby Yoda.
Right.
Like, we don't have any kind of anchor in this yet, except for that character of Boba Fett that everybody's loved and enjoyed.
So, her watching it, there was no no gotcha, like you said. And for me watching it, I was kind of hoping for something as well. And I wasn't necessarily satisfied. But, there's another episode coming out, tomorrow, right?
Well, so the article that I was reading said that they're going to come out every Wednesday.
Oh, it's a Wednesday thing.
Apparently.
Huh.
So,
interesting.
Because I was trying to find out if they were doing it on Fridays like they did with Bad Batch and the last Clone Wars season and all that, or how they were releasing them. But yeah, apparently it's Wednesdays is when we're getting new Book of Boba Fett.
All right. Well, I mean, that's a choice.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate for us because it means every time we talk about these, they'll have been out for almost a week at that point. But
well, listen, if anything crazy happens when, it's guess what? It's our show. It's our channel. We can do it whenever the fuck we want.
That is true.
So there you go.
Yep. All right. Well, any last thoughts on this episode?
No, I mean, I think I put my 2 cents in. I think I'm ready for more. I'm ready. I'm certainly not dismissive of it. This isn't Resistance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of large world stuff in here that I want to get pulled together. Like, when you're looking at this giant, I'm moving away from the microphone, and I know it's going to sound shitty. These giant, that crater with the city filled inside of it, with the Mos
Espa
and Mos Espa.
Yeah, that's where we're on this one.
I think I want to see Boba Fett not be such a pussy.
Yeah, he did. He came off as very weak in this.
Yeah, not need to like, oh god, get me in my hot bath. Oh god, because I'm so like.
I mean, he's resilient as fuck. He's resilient as fuck because he should have died like 3 times over in the beginning. But
right, like you made it all the way through the desert, and you fuck yeah, dude, totally. I got you. I did 100%. I feel you, and I'm sure you feel the weather changing and everything else. I got you. But like, you're fucking Boba Fett. You're supposedly running this crime syndicate. It's time to fucking it's time to just fucking
do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you. And I felt this way as the show was coming to a close last night. I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. Again, this was not like Phantom Menace or Last Jedi kind of feelings coming out of this. It was just kind of like, all right, well, we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like it's all going to come full circle. I have that much faith in Favreau and Filoni. They've been working on this for over a year, so for the love of God, it better go somewhere.
Yeah, it better. Yeah, because let's look, like we have Kenobi coming out. We have all this. We have a lot of stuff coming out.
We got a lot of stuff on the horizon. Like between like Kenobi, I know you're not really excited about the Andor series, but then we got the next season of Bad Batch.
I thought they canceled the Andor thing, or what? Didn't they fire the guy who was writing it, or wasn't there some fucking turmoil with the Andor series?
Cunt Kennedy does that with like everybody that produces anything Star Wars these days. Like halfway through filming, nope, fired. Nope, go rewrite this. Nope, replacing this director. So that's just how she rolls.
Yeah. Well, I don't care. I'm really indifferent about the fucking Andor series. It may be the best thing that they ever write. I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure
because
we will.
Star Wars, but I have an obligation to you, the listener, and that I have to watch it. My expectations are oh god,
And
oh god, I can't even like you'd have to put like something like you'd have to like put a jack stand underneath the expectations of the worst thing that I've seen in Star Wars, and then like stick a giant piece of wood underneath that and really pull on it to like get it in the air, and then stick something underneath that, and then maybe, just maybe, you can sneak my expectations underneath all of that for what Andor is going to be. Does that paint a picture?
I think it's pretty clear.
Really have zero expectations for this bullshit.
Well, which means you only have up to go from there. So
right, that's right. Plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah. All right. Well, tune in, I guess, in a week and a half when we talk about the next episode, because next week, we need to figure out if we're going to do a show on Monday. Also.
Yes, we're doing a show Monday.
Okay, so we're getting back to our normal Monday schedule next week. Talking about some James Webb. Very, very excited.
Yes.
So James Webb, and we're going to throw some Hubble discussion in there too. So it's going to be kind of like the two generations of telescopes.
It's going to be a giant nerd fest. Listen, I know that there's people out there that are not into when we talk about football stuff because you're not into sports or whatever. I hope that if you're even mildly interested in some space stuff, or like I said, my intention for this episode really is to teach people some shit.
Yeah.
Right? I want you to learn something about the telescopes. I want you to learn something about
space,
motherfucker. Like, how telescopes work. What's the difference between like this the infrared band and visible light and shit like that. We can ask these questions and we can answer that and talk about how these telescopes work and the different wavelengths and why it's important. I want to go there. I really want to do that because I love talking about that shit, and I'm super, super excited. I'm really excited. It's going to be great.
Yeah, for sure.
On our Discord server, I posted a link. You can actually go. I'm going to copy the link right now and post it in the chat. It's it's web.nasa.gov, and it has basically the status of the telescope, like real time.
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of different live YouTube streams that all do that. Like, where is it right at the second?
Right.
Where is it with the unfurling and everything? But again, let's not jump ahead of ourselves.
But and in preparation for Monday, like, because right now we're in the window where it's doing the unfolding. It's still let's see, we're in the region right now where it's unfolding the sun shield, right? We're in day 5.5. But if you go to that website and you can see what the temperatures are, you get a live sensor reading of what's going on the telescope, and read up on it a little bit. Like, if you have questions about how something works, ask it. I know, or I hope we can get Helmet Fire, who's this is part of his major, is a lot of this space science shit. So awesome. I'm really excited, as you can tell. I love this shit, and I'm excited.
It's an important time. It's a very important time for all of this shit too. So, and you can bet your fucking ass that come this summer, when we start getting those first images or that first data from the James Webb, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So,
and spoiler alert, I have some pictures that I took from. I was looking around and I took pictures of when
His
I
dick.
saw pieces of the James Webb at the Goddard Space Center, and I found some of those pictures. It's like it's only a couple shots, but it's a couple of pictures in the mirrors.
As it was in development.
Yeah,
Awesome.
as we're putting it together. So very, very cool. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Sweet.
I have some stuff to read
Oh,
while we're
well then do it.
so right now for the Red 5 News, tomorrow the Salty Nerd podcast will be premiering their interview with Stargate actor David Hewlett.
What?
Yeah. Matt Vader will have a live chat going, so hop on over to YouTube tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern and say, hey, that's 10 a.m. Pacific, so 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That sounds really, really cool. Hopefully it's New Year's Eve, so you're off from work. Nick and I will most likely be working because it's the end of the year, so there's a lot of stuff that has to get done tomorrow. Hopefully Nick will be feeling better. Shout out to Nick. He was in the infirmary today, so hopefully he's feeling better. The Scuttlebutt podcast will be doing a Boba Fett refresh on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join them live as they review Chapter 1 of Book of Boba Fett, much like we did, with a panel of special guests. And, you've heard what we had to say, so tune in to see what they have to say. And obviously, we are right. Other people may be less right.
Well, I mean, I am curious to hear what other people's opinions of the show are, because this is the first time I've really talked about it with anybody since I've seen it. So I'm curious what the rest of the Red Fivers think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Luna Girl has been sharing daily Red 5 live stream schedules on the socials. There are 33 amazing podcasts, including ours, in the Red 5 network, and literally something for every personality. For the complete list, visit bio.link/red5. bio.link/red5. After our show, hop on over to the chat and press. The problem with having like a head cold is like the congestion and trying to talk through it is like, bleh. Anyway,
right, after quit being a pussy and get it done.
Fuck off. After our show, go hop over to the chat of Press Play Streaming Studios on YouTube, where hosts Alan Chantel and members of our Red 5 family are diving into a 2021, back in time, 2021 review of pop culture. Tell them the sidebar sent you. That's as far as for us. You can find us on Twitter at Sidebar Cantina. On Twitch, we are the Sidebar Cantina. You were playing Battlefront. I didn't see you on Twitch. I didn't get a notification.
I should have streamed on Twitch.
You should have streamed on Twitch.
I'll do that next time.
Yes, you should do that. Look for us, gaming, the Sidebar Cantina. On Facebook, our private Facebook group, we are the Sidebar Cantina.
Yep.
On Instagram, which is the bread and butter. That is where it all happens. That is where the magic happens. Yep. Is where Luna Girl makes the magic happen. We are at the Sidebar Cantina. And we are on Discord. The server is the Sidebar Cantina. Look for that. I haven't seen it if there's been new people or not.
I haven't seen anybody new posting in there.
There's a lot of different streams on our server. I've
been posting some pretty funny memes in there lately, and I have not been getting many responses. I'm actually very disappointed in our Discord crew.
Here's the problem with what I find with Discord. Like, I can see the stuff easily, but reacting to it is harder on my phone. I will say that. So I have been enjoying it. I can post shit real easy, but like reacting to somebody's stuff is like harder, especially when you're driving. Like driving and eating, and then also texting and doing Discord. Like, I don't know, something's got to give. Right. So hitting the smiley emoji for your thing is probably the one that's going to give. Anyway, we still have our merch stuff going on TeePublic. Click on the link tree in any of our social media bios and find our merch. We'll take you directly to TeePublic, where you can buy t-shirts, hoodies, and a wide variety of designs. Sizes and colors for the entire family. There are also Sidebar Cantina face masks, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers and pins, just about everything you can imagine. Please tag us with your merch so Luna Girl can share it on the socials. Do we have 5-star reviews? Did you check?
I did.
I know Luna Girl is prepping like a year-end. She has a special thing going for year-end 5-star reviews. But so write us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app, screenshot it, and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. You can write us one sentence or an entire page, whatever your heart desires. Luna Girl would gladly send you some Sidebar Cantina stickers in the mail the next day, and we will read your review word for word on our next episode.
We'll even take requests for voices or who reads it.
As an added bonus, if you post your Apple review on Twitter or Instagram and tag us and at Red 5 Network, you can also get an official Red 5 Network button pin. So, like I said, Luna Girl she had a special year-end thing going for the how you doings, the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So do that. And Patreon. How do you find us on Patreon, Jason?
Patreon.com/The Sidebar Cantina. Our new CFO will pay the bills, and when there's money left over, she will put it towards be it fantasy football trophies, gifts for our patrons,
buy new stickers.
Yep, and she will stay on top of that far better than Dave or I ever did when we were running
Facts.
on Patreon.
Facts. And I'm sure our social media director will be glad that somebody else is paying attention to that shit besides us.
Indeed. So
that's all I got.
Alrighty. Well, like we said, join us. We'll be back to our normal Monday schedule this coming Monday, the 3rd. Wait, hold on. Today's the 30th and the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Yes, I was right. So we'll be back to our normal Monday schedule on the 3rd, talking about Hubble and James Webb. And thank you, everybody. We had a shitload of people in the chat tonight. This might have been the most people we ever had.
Awesome.
In the show
I love
chat.
it.
So
we
thanks
love you,
to everybody.
We love you in the chat.
Yep. And yeah, we'll see you next time. And Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Okay, now what do I click?
All right. Well, are we doing any kind of a post show, or do we need to just like cut it so you can go pee? And
I gotta go pee, and then we can figure out if we're doing a post show.
Right. Well, technically, this is the post show.
All right, we are doing a post show. Did you I didn't prep you at all for did you hit the audio or recording?
Because we're doing it remotely, there is no local audio recording. I have to pull it from StreamYard and hope that everything goes well.
I gotta pee. We'll talk about this here in a second.
All right, fair enough. All right. While he's doing that, let's see if there's anything I missed in the chat. Backyard TARDIS is going to try harder to get into our Discord. Yeah, just again, fair warning, it's not the most appropriate meeting ground for people. But if you're into very, very dark, twisted humor, then that is your place. Show topics. We don't have any show topics outside of Hubble. Now, I would imagine with Book of Boba Fett, a majority of our episodes over the next 2 months is going to be covering Book of Boba Fett. We may not do it every week. We'll probably do it like every other week and cover like 2 episodes in a shot. I do want to do the music of 1992 to go along with our music of each year. So, obviously we're about to hit 2022, so the music of 92 is going to be 30 years old, so I'd like to do that in January. Bronco Fett, I did listen to your episode, the Orange and Fett show, when they did the Muppet Family Christmas. Oh my god, I wish I had my notes with me, because there was such a glaring thing that you guys missed. I'm like, just say the thing about this, and you guys never did. But otherwise, it was very entertaining. I liked hearing your backstory as to how you knew about it and then finding it later on home video and all that. But yeah, no, it was good. Good job to Bronco Fett and Orange Jacket Guy on their show. Forgot what else I was saying. I'm just killing time. There he is. All right. No need to kill any more time now that Dave's back.
What? What now that Dave's back?
So I was just telling the good folks out there that a majority of our next couple of months of episodes is probably going to be taken up by Book of Boba Fett talk. Now, we may not do it every single week. We'll maybe do it like what we were doing with Mandalorian for a while, like every other week, covering all the episodes that we missed to get caught up on. I don't know what he's doing. But I do want to do the music of 92. Hopefully next month, if we can get to it. Because 1992 will officially be 30 years old.
Yikes.
I know we've got Wayne's World coming up.
Wayne's World! Wayne's World! Party time! Excellent! Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, the fact that movie is about to be 30 years old.
Holy shit.
Yeah, is disgusting. So
that's crazy.
We've got some stuff on the docket, but right now, like, the only thing that we have set in stone is Hubble for next week, or Hubble and James Webb.
Right.
But then I would imagine after that we'll probably do another Boba episode, and then kind of alternate Bobas with other topics.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, I see a lot of Star Wars stuff coming up.
Yep. Yeah, and then we have the Star Wars Podcast Day, which is the first week of February.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? I don't mind having more Star Wars content come up in the rotation, honestly.
Yep, and it seemed to generate a lot of interest, obviously, with the all the people watching and chatting.
Dude, I can't tell you how stoked I am that this James Webb site exists.
Oh, the live tracking and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a notification that said that the temperature sensors were live. I'm like,
oh shit.
Like, oh fuck.
I can't copy and paste from that link that you saved though. Link that you put in the chat.
Well, it's on the Discord server. If you want to cut and paste off of that.
Yeah.
Maybe put it in the YouTube description.
Yeah, because I've been going to, there's just random YouTube channels that just have a live stream of like where fucking James Webb is right now. And there's some good ones too. It's like, it's like a timeline from like where it launched to where it actually gets to its final orbit, like where the moon is in that, like when it passes the moon.
Right.
A lot of milestones and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Bronco Fett, they're estimating that it's probably this summer is when we're gonna probably see the first data from the James Webb. Yeah, that's exactly one of the feeds that I would watch.
This is the official NASA one.
Oh, and it has passed the moon already. Okay.
Yeah, it passed the moon a couple days ago.
Yeah, but yeah, they're expecting this summer because the process of getting it to its orbit is going to take a month. And then once it's in orbit, they got to like turn on all the systems and do tests, and it's going to be a long process.
Yep.
And then of course they're going to turn it on, start collecting data. Then they have to sift through that data and kind of make it all make sense.
Oh, it's so cool. Can't wait.
Ooh, all right.
Can't fucking wait. All right.
Are you ready to kill this?
Yep.
All right. Well, that was good. Hopefully you're feeling better by next week. I guess we can probably anticipate another remote episode.
Monday will be remote.
Okay. So.
What was that?
It's a microphone.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was just sitting here, so I have a microphone.
Like,
all right.
Like,
well,
what are you alluding to?
Nothing. I'm
right.
holding an extra microphone. All right, we're gonna cut the stream now. Thanks again to everybody, and Dave, I hope you feel better, and we'll see everybody on Monday.
See ya.
Peace, bitches.
Go over to Press Play Streaming Studios.